countrymen, war reminds us of our frailty. Our ship, though never mastering the vast seas, with a little faith and humble navigation.
The Classical Theatre of Harlem is a not-for-profit organization. We've been around since 1999, and we put on fantastic, extraordinary plays for the community. We hope to be able to also make sure that our brand is out there not only in Harlem, town in which we were founded, but also in New York, nationally and internationally as well. This is the year that we call it our momentum year. We hope that we continue to put on great programs. We continue to also teach youth programs, having reading series, that more folks will sort of fund us in a way that's commensurate with the work that we're doing in our community.
I would love to let people know that Harlem is the capital of New York. I invite them to come. One of the great things about the Classical Theatre of Harlem is there's no obstruction to entry. When we say it's free, all you have to do is show up and bring your best self and sit with people in your community for an hour and partake a story.
So Antigone is the story of a young woman who is living in a time of great adversity. Both of her brothers have died in war at each other's hands, and she finds out that the king is not going to allow one of her brothers to be buried with honor. And so, out of love for her brother and with a firm understanding of what is right, she decides, I'm going to go ahead and bury him anyway.
But as for Polynices, an order has gone out throughout the city of Thebes that he's to have no funeral or lament, that he is to be left unburied, unwept, a sweet treasure for the birds to look at, for them to feed upon until their heart's content.
So I think it's a powerful story because it asks us to consider, what would we do when, the powers that be are telling us what is going to happen, but what is going to happen isn't right. Do we stand up and go against adversity, or do we, go along with everything and pretend like it's okay?
I think shows like these impact Harlem on so many levels. Most importantly, fundamentally, the idea that the community can see itself reflected on stage, and there is nothing like being represented. There's nothing like turning on television or going to a show and seeing yourself. It's so important, it is empowering. And then taking, on top of that, taking these stories, classical theater, especially out here when we're doing Three Musketeers, or when we're doing Shakespeare, when we're doing Sophocles, those stories, the best stories, the oldest stories are universal.
If thou dost break her virgin knot, before all sanctimonious ceremonies,
the king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the iron.
As we're seeing, more and more kids are coming out of these prestigious training institutes, Juilliard, NYU. And if you're a kid of color, there might not be opportunities to play some of the great roles that you've trained for in school. I think the Classical Theatre of Harlem fills a void for those actors who might not have had the opportunity to do some of the great classical work. There is a place for them in New York City to put their talents on display. And it's a truly unique theater that we can nurture talent for brown and black artists who might not otherwise have the opportunity.
Harlem is a community that has a lot to offer and has a rich legacy of arts. I'm not sure there are as many free events for people to come out and be together and see a performance. And I think that offering this to the community is huge. You have people that live in the area that come back every single night and see the performance many times over. It gives them something to do. It gives them a place to commune with their neighbors. I think making a community culturally diverse is also a part of making it a healthy community, and we have to constantly find ways to give back to the community by making it a wonderful experience for people to live in, and this is a part of that.
What do I think that Classical Theatre of Harlem means to the community? I think it's an organization that is willing to unapologetically assert the way that we see the world through our worldview. So we'll do plays like Antigone that clearly has a certain perspective about the world in which we live. And those who have an opportunity to see our Antigone through the lens of the African diaspora, I think we'll be able to see this particular story in a new light altogether. But it's a light that's still quite familiar to us as human beings, as people who live on this planet, the shared planet together.